Hello everyone, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to the Global Biceps Weekend 2021 powered by D65 Champs. It's day 2 today, and we hope you are doing well and keeping safe. I'm Sagar Upani moderating this session along with Golaknath Misra. This session is presented by Dhruvin Shah. Dhruvin will be talking about real life use cases for Power Automate and Power BI. Dhruvin is a Microsoft Biceps MVP and working as a Power Platform and Microsoft 365 lead at Binary Republic Ahmedabad. Dhruvin is an active blogger and a YouTuber. He has published more than 130 articles and 650 plus tech videos on YouTube. Before I hand over the session to Dhruvin, I would like to mention that if you have any queries, please feel free to drop it into chat window. We will take them either during the session if possible or during the QA time. Okay, thank you again for joining and enjoy the session. Dhruvin, over to you.
Thank you so much, Sagar, for this wonderful introduction. So let me share my screen and get started. And first of all, to the audience, good morning, good evening, good afternoon from whenever you are joining. First of all, welcome for attending this particular session. I'm just turning off my camera right now to saving some of the bandwidth and quickly share my screen and get started with. So let me just share my screen here and all right. So I just shared my screen. Let me know if it's visible, then I can get started.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, thank you so much. All right. So in today's session, basically, I'm going to talk about some real life use cases for Power Automate and Power BI. So this is the concept. Power Automate Visual is something which is rolled out couple of months ago, and it is the game changer specifically for Power BI user because now lots of requirement for which we are doing some custom coding or Power BI embedding. Now it becomes so easy for us as a developer. So I'm going to talk about some of the use cases for this particular thing, like how we can configure Power Automate with BI, and what are the integration steps, which are the permissions that we need, which are the licensing that we need to go with, and which are the different examples that we can achieve with this with this particular approach. So let's get started and talk about that. I'm just keeping this introduction slide as Sagar mentioned everything about me. So if you wanted to follow me on any of my social media handles, this is the shortcut URL, that is linktree/dhruvin.shah, which is very simple. Just click on, just open up that thing, and you will be redirected to this type of browser window from where you will get all my links. So even after this session, if you have any query, you can connect me any of my social media handles from here. So without spending more time on introduction, let's get started and talk about the overall session agenda that I'm going to cover in next 50 minutes. So first of all, I will try to explain you what is Power Automate Visual into Power BI and which type of integration is possible with that particular new concept. Then we will be talking about some real life use cases where this concept is really useful, and we will get started with the Power Automate integration with the Power BI. So we will add our Power Automate flow into our Power BI report and then try to build some use cases. And at last, we will be talking about permission and a licensing thing. And here I'm going to cover a couple of examples, like export filter data set to Excel or PDF, or how we can send it to email, or how we send it back to SQL Server. So without having more on the slide part, let's get started and directly move to the of demos part, so we will get a better context and better idea around that. So let me just open up my another window, and here I am. So here I am on my machine, and here I basically created one Power BI desktop file. So first of all, let me just give you the reporting that I have built over here for this particular example, so that we will get more idea around that. So basically I created one Power BI report for the YouTube analytics for my channel. So basically I'm publishing many videos throughout the year. So I just wanted to categorize that throughout the year, how many videos I publish for Power BI, how many for Power Apps, how many for Power Virtual Agents, and how many for Power Automate. And this is one summarized report that I have built with the very simple data set, that title of the video, description of the video, URL of the video, and category for this particular video, and which type of different hashtags are there for that report, that particular video. So I built this very simple reporting over here, and now on top of that we are going to integrate our Power Automate visual. Now for the user, most of the time Power BI side, user are not aware about the other Power Platform components, like what Power Automate does and what Power Apps is doing. So let me just give you a very little bit of idea. Like Power Automate is the tool in the Power Platform which manages your automation. So let's say there is a concept of trigger and action in the Power Automate. By using that, you can automate the different business use cases. Now let me talk about a couple of examples here. Like one of the most popular example I have seen in my career, that most of the time Power BI side, people are asking for let's say they wanted to export their data to Excel, and basically they wanted to export the filter data. So let's say for an example, here I have a report, but I'm selecting Power BI from here. And now let's say I'm selecting 2021 from here. And now I'm just turning on my drill down and I'm just moved towards the month. So I just clicked here, and now I'm just selecting the October. So I just wanted to check in October for Power BI. I published 3 videos on that. And now what I wanted to achieve here is I want to export only these 3 records to my Excel. Now, how can I achieve that requirement? Now, this is something like we need to pass the Power BI context to somehow in such a manner that it should know that, this many of filters are applied. Earlier, to achieve this type of requirement, we are going with the Power BI embedded approach, where you need to write some custom coding and you need to write some JavaScript functions and all. Now, this is becoming very, very easy, and it is saving lots of time, that with the Power Automate, we can achieve it very easily. Power Automate visual is something which is passing your Power BI context into Power Automate, so that the filtered records, you are easily getting your Power Automate, and then you can do anything you wanted to achieve. So let's get started with the few basic configuration and permission management thing, and then we will go with some tough examples. So to get started with the Power Automate inside the Power BI, basically you need to add the Power Automate visual first. So when you add that, this is something which is looking like this. So let me just click on this particular visual, and whenever you are adding that particular visual into your Power BI desktop, basically it is providing you the detailed information that which are the configuration steps you need to perform here. So here we need to perform like adding the data, setting up the fields, setting up the flow, and after that you need to apply and share your flow, and you need to format your button. So these are the basic steps that you need to achieve, right? Now, to get started with, I would like to give you one pro tip. Like you can easily add the fields here and easily edit your Power Automate flow inside the Power BI desktop itself. But I would recommend to go with the Power BI service, because Power BI service is something which will where you can easily edit your Power Automate flow. In desktop, I don't have a very good experience on that, because on desktop screen is something which is not too much responsive in nature. So sometimes you need to scroll a bit down and all, and for large kind of flow, it is something which is difficult to create here. So the tip is once you add your Power Automate visual, just publish your report. So here I'm just publishing this report to one of my workspace. I already published one of that, so I'm just replacing that thing. So we can perform the rest of the thing into service itself. So let it to be published, and yeah, the report is being published. Now let me move towards my Power BI service. So this is the service account I have opened here, and let me just open up that report. So this is the report which I just published, which is YouTube Analytics base, and this is something which is a Power Automate visual that we have added. Now just click on edit, and now let's start the configuration process. So the very first step is that you need to add the data. So this step is something like you have your Power BI data set, right? And now you wanted to send a couple of fields to use into Power Automate. So for that, basically you need to drag those fields over here as a first part. So let's say I wanted to pass the title, and one more thing, like by default it added as a table, but just select your Power Automate visual and then add. So I'm selected that, I'm adding title, I'm adding description, I'm adding URL, I'm adding category. So I have added this many of fields which I wanted to consume into my Power Automate action. Now, as we are configuring this first flow, I'm make it very simple and very easy. Once I add that, basically we need to click on edit. And as a first use case, what we are going to do here is want to send this particular items as a Teams message. So for that, we are going to create one fresh flow over here. So basically this is nothing but it is opening the Power Automate home screen, and it is showing all the earlier flow that you have created for your Power BI. And apart from that, there is an option to create the instant cloud flow. And if you want to use any template for your basic requirement. Now over here for this particular sample, I'm going to use template, but for later examples, we will create it from scratch. So over here, there is a template provided that send a team message from BI. So I'm just going to use that as we are creating the first flow. So let it make it simple. So I'm just clicking on continue and it will create the flow with the two actions. One is on button item clicked and second is post a message as a Flowbot user. Right, so now here we just need to configure the properties, like I just wanted to send the message to my account itself, so I'm just selecting my user over here and what message you wanted to send. So basically I just wanted to send a message like username. Basically, one more important thing I want to mention here, that whenever we are adding the Power BI action over here inside the flow, obviously we are getting the context from Power BI to Power Automate, and it comes up with the few out of the box properties as well, like who is the person who has clicked the button, who is the person who clicked the button at which time. All this information we are getting inside the flow. So for logging purpose, we can use those properties. So let's say, first of all, let me show you the properties that we are getting. So basically we are getting the user ID, username, user email, timestamp, and another properties are this one that we have tracked here, like title, description, URL, and category. And these fields are something which is having as a part of JSON structure, like it is something like an entire collection. So whenever you drag any of these property like title, description, it will automatically add apply to each loop on top of that. So it will basically parse one by one and basically post the message to the teams. So let's grab some message. So basically I just wanted to have the headline as the title of the video, and you can see apply to each has been added. Now let me just in message, basically I just wanted to add title, I wanted to add URL. I'm not doing some UI kind of fancy thing here because it will take some time, and basically this is something which is sending the one adaptive card into the teams. And at last I will add some hashtags if I've added, or maybe category field, right? And now let's just save this flow. Saving is the one of the most important thing. If you forget to save and just click on back to report, you will lose everything. So remember that thing. And after saving, let's click on apply, save and apply. And now let's go back, and now you have this kind of button for you. So now let's just decrease this button size a bit. So it decreased too much. So let me just, yeah. And now let's just change the name of the button from here. So I'm just changing the button text as post message. Right. And now let's do the tasting for the same. So to taste that into edit mode, basically you need to press the control key and mouse click, and it is triggering. and it has triggered successfully. And you can see in Power in my particular um, Teams, I'm getting this many of notification because I haven't selected any month from here. So I have lots of record around 63. So I am getting 63 card over here, and it is passing this particular context from here to my Power Automate test, right? So this is one thing, and it is popping up lots of messages to me, which is I just forgot to filter it down. So it is sending me all 63, but let's see if I filtered like this one, and after that if I clicked, it will only send me this 3 card. But here my window is full of notification, so yeah, it's triggered successfully. Now let me talk about one more important thing here about the permission thing. So let me just show you the output first, so we will get a more context. So here I opened my Teams desktop, and you can see it has sent me this 63 card in this manner, right? Now, let's say for an example, I have created this workspace and I have added this flow inside it. Now, let me just move to the reading mode by saving it. And now let me just talk about the permission thing. So at this moment, you can see if I check the workspace permission, this workspace has 2 users permission, Dhruvin, and one another user is Power Platform Dev. Now, the question arises that let's say this flow is something which just created, and it is something which is not shared with the another user. Then will the another user who is a part of this workspace will able to access this flow, and will he able to click the button? So let's check that. So here I opened the same report with the another guest user, which is whose name is Power Platform Dev. Now I'm opening the workspace and opening the report over here, same report, and let's see the button. And now let me just filter out my data, and let me just click on post message, and let's see what happens. So you can see it is showing us the message unsuccessful. Why? The reason is that the flow doesn't have permission for this particular user to run the automation. For that, what you need to do is you need to open up your flow. So basically, whenever you are creating any flow inside your Power BI service or Power BI desktop, basically you are able to track the same flow into your flow.microsoft.com, and that flow will be appearing under the My Flow section for you. So send a team message from Power BI. So this is the flow that we just created. And if I edit this flow, or let's say if I'm to give the permission, basically we need to click on that particular flow, and basically here there is an option run only user. So Dhruvin is the owner for this flow, and run only permission is something which is not provided to anyone. So basically in order to provide the permission, you need to provide the name for that particular user over here, and you just need to click on save. So what happened here is now you provided the permission to that particular user, and now if that user is start triggering that flow, they will be able to do that. Now let me just open up that user's account again, and let me just hit refresh for my report, and let me try to trigger the message, trigger this thing again. And one thing, let me just decrease the records, and let me just click on post message, and let's see what we are getting. So now it's triggered successfully, and now as a flow owner, you can check the flow run as well from here. And depending upon your licensing, it will some time in order to trigger the flow. So let's wait for a few minutes, and meantime I'm started with the another use case, and once it's triggered successfully, basically we will able to see some sort of notification inside our Teams as well. So let's wait, and meantime let me just open up this Power BI file again, and now let's move towards our second use case. The another use case is that I already built couple of use cases for just for time saving, which I'm going to cover. Now second use case is export to Excel, and basically I need the filtered record from my data set. So let's say I'm just having October, and now I'm triggering this flow what should be happen is it should export only those records to the export. Like let's say only 3 records are here as a filter data set, and I should get only those 3 records to the Excel. So for that, how can I do that? So let me just open up the edit mode, and I configured the flow in the similar fashion as I shown you in the first use case. Basically, I added this Power Automate visual and configured these 4 fields, and then I just click on edit to create my flow. Now over here in the earlier part, we have created one flow from basically using the template, but we can create it from scratch as well. So I will just create new and instant cloud flow. So that will add the flow with the default Power BI action. So let me just open up one flow that I already built here, which is export to Excel flow. And do not worry, I'm providing this all flow templates into my GitHub repository from you, where you can download and explore the thing. So just focus on the learning part at this moment. So let me just click on edit for this particular flow, and let me show you how we can do that. So whenever you are creating that instant cloud flow, it will have the action on Power BI button click. So on Power BI button click, my flow will be triggered. And now I want to export the data to the Excel, right? The filter data. Now for that, we are going to use one trick here. So the very first step that you need to perform here is you need to create the template for your Excel file. In many of the examples, you have seen that basically what people are doing here for Excel export, they are creating the entire table inside the Excel, and then they are updating the row. And that concept has one limitation, that whenever you are clicking the button, basically it is appending the row to the existing table. But here the client's requirement is something different, like they need new Excel file to be generated and emailed every time. So how can we achieve that kind of thing? I'm going to explain you with a more easier manner. So in order to achieve that, first of all, we need to open the OneDrive, and we need to create the blank Excel file. So simply go here, click on sample Excel workbook, and just save this Excel workbook, and your template is created. So this is the only step you need to do. I already stored one template, Power BI data export template, and which is exactly the blank Excel file. I didn't perform any fancy things over here. So just do that. After that, in Power Automate, you need to consume that template and need to create the table dynamically, as well as inserting the row inside the table dynamically. Now let me show you those actions. So I just opened up this. So first of all, whenever you are clicking the button, you are getting the data from the Power BI. So basically I just take one select action, and I just map the different property like title, category, URL, and create it. And basically I just drag and drop the field that I've shown you in the earlier scenario as well. Like basically I want to drag this many of field, and it is adding over entire Power BI data on top of that. So all this data is mapped to this select action. Then there is an action from OneDrive for business, which is get file content. So basically you just need to add an action and search for get file content, and basically file content. Let me search that, and it is giving me us the action OneDrive for business get file content. Let's add that, and we need to provide the URL for the template that we have created. So over here, just click on this root, and after that, where you have uploaded that template, just select that, and it will create that particular path for you, right? So you are getting the file content. After that, using that file content, you need to create a new file. So first step is creating a file. So I want to create the file at the root location for OneDrive for business. So let's select this root, and let's just add our file name. So file name is something you can give any name to your file. I'm providing Power BI Analytics, and then I am appending date and time. So UTC now is the function which I've used here, and after UTC now I'm just appending some GUID, so that will generate the random file, and we will never face an issue for replacing the file. It doesn't match the exact same name. And after that, don't forget to add the XLSX extension over here. This is the most important thing. Most of the time we are, after providing the file name, we forget to add the extension. So just add the extension over here. And after that, we need to consume the file content for the file that we have created. So blank template we will be getting here. So we just need to provide file content from get file content, and we just need to add that. That's all. So we created file successfully. Now the next step is that inside that file we need to create the table first. So for that you simply need to search for create table from Excel Online Business. So just add that particular action. And once you add that, you need to configure a couple of things here, like which location you want to use here, where you want to store that. So from drop down, select OneDrive for Business. From document library, select OneDrive. Then in the file, pass the ID in which file you want to make this ID. So we already created the file into top section. So we need to use ID from the create file section. So just use that ID. Now this is the thing, table range. So table range is something like in Excel. I want to export this 4 column. So my column start from A and ending at D. So I need to provide the range as A1 to D1 with the $sign. Right, and after that we need to provide the name for our table. So I'm providing Power BI Analytics, and after that we need to pass the column name as column comma separated. You can give any name to your column headers, so just pass any name over here and we are good to create the table. After creating the table, the next step is that we need to append the row inside the table. So for that, we simply having add row into table action, and we need to have apply to each on the select statement that we have done at very initial. We will loop through this thing and we will add those row one by one. So same way, provide the location and library, and then file ID. So ID is the something which we have created into this create file section, and we need to provide the name of the table that we just created. So from create table, we are getting the action name. So name is the action we are getting from here, and current item is the property for this particular select statement, right? And after that, our file will be stored properly, right? So that is the thing. Now I do need to perform one additional thing. I want to send this file as an email attachment as well. So after this particular step, I'm placing the 1 minute delay, just because the file should be stored in a proper manner and properly entire row will be added in a proper thing. After that, I will add an action get file content for the file that we just created. So get file content action is something like this file we created. So create files ID we need to pass here. So we will get the content with the all the rows. And after that, we need to pass that in our send email action as file content from this action get file content to, and name is also something that we are getting from there. Right. So this is how we can add and configure this flow. And let me just click on back to report, and don't forget to save and apply. Right, I already applied, so do not doing anything. Now I've filtered my records already, and now let me just open up my OneDrive folder as well. So at this moment, this is the template, and let me just remove this unwanted files so we will get a better idea on that part, that how it is generating. So I just remove this file, and now I'm going to trigger this particular flow. So it is triggered now, and now let's check the run history as well. So once it's triggered, it will show 7 seconds ago, and it's in running mode as we have exported 3 rows. And one more important limitation here I want to discuss about that from Power Automate, from Power BI to Power Automate, you can pass maximum 1000 record at a single go. If your filter data is more than 1000 record, it will not export all 1000 records. It is something which is having up to 1000 record, it will export, but after those if any rows will be there, it will not add there. And at this moment there is no workaround for that particular thing. The workaround is something that you need to minimize your filter data set below 1000 records and then export. Then it will working as expected manner. So that is one more important thing that I just wanted to mention. And meantime, let's check our OneDrive location as well. And here you can see few seconds ago the file is created, and let's see how it is looking like. And you can see the filter data are 3 and exit 3 rows we are getting in form of Excel. And now after that we have a 1 minute delay inside our email. So let me just open up my mailbox as well, and let's see in email what we are getting. So mail is still not received. Okay, it's been received just right now. So let's check that, and let's see how many records we are getting inside that Excel. So same thing we are getting over here as well. So this is cool, and this is how you can easily export the data into Excel format every time new file is created. That is the main beauty for this flow, because most of the solution that we are seeing on the internet at this moment for this approach are something which is basically updating the row inside the flow. But here we are not doing that. Basically we are creating the table inside the flow itself, and we are adding row every time inside that. So that's one thing. Now let's move towards the second use case. Permission is also something which working same as the I mentioned earlier. Basically you need to share the flow run only user as a whom you want to provide the permission for exporting to Excel. So that's one thing. Now the second important use case is like, let's say many times for sales reports or any financial report, the requirement, this is the another most common requirement from the clients, like they need as a data analyst, like let's say I filtered my data set, and now let's say I wanted to build some summarized report on the filter data set. And the summarized report is something which is already created in some sort of templates in Power BI, and which is used with some another data sources. Like let's say this report is built from SharePoint, and now I want couple of records into my SQL server. Like I filtered this record and now I need this filter data to my SQL server. So how can I get that? So that data insertion part is also now possible in a very easy manner. Earlier this is something like a boon for us, or we need to go with the like custom embedding approach to do this kind of requirement, but now it's become very easy. Now let's get started and move towards the second flow. So for second flow, the same configuration step, I have passed 4 fields over here, and now let me just edit this thing, and let me show you the SQL Server architecture that I have defined here. So basically I have created one table called SQL YT Analytics, and inside that table, if I show you, I have created title, URL, created date and category, and these are the field for who has exported the record and what is the exported time. So this is the basic structure I created into SQL Server, and this is the on-premise SQL Server I've used for this demo, so that we have more context around gateway and all. So in order to do this thing, basically you need to install the data gateway. All the Power BI user are already aware about how to install and configure the gateway. If not, if you are doing it for the first time, I have a separate playlist on my YouTube. I will share it after this session. So I already created and configured the gateway. Now it's time to use the on-premise SQL Server into Power Automate. For that, it is providing one action to us. Let me just open up that flow, that is send data to SQL Server, that I already built here. And over here, what we can do here is these are the basic fields where we are getting from this context, who has created, who is exporting, and what would be the export time. And I've added action called insert row. So insert row is the SQL Server premium action which is provided with this Power Automate, where you need to provide your server name, your database name, then you need to select your table name, and after that you need to map the fields. So these are the column from the SQL Server which we created over here, and which property you want to configure over here, we need to provide that as well. So let's say in title I need to send this title, for URL I need this URL. So basically you need to select here and just need to select the appropriate property, and that will automatically add apply to each loop on top of that. And for exported by and exported time, we will use the username. So who is the user who has clicked the button and what is his email. So basically I'm passing this to information, and these are the default property we are getting with this Power BI connector. And at last, basically we are providing the exported time. So basically we have a property called timestamp. So when that button was clicked, we are getting that thing as well. So we simply need to pass that thing over here. And once you are done with the things, you simply need to click on save and apply, and you are good to go. So now let me just go back and let's just check this functionality. Now let me just change my filter to the September, and now we have 4 different records for Power BI, right? And now over here we have seen 4 records. So now 4 plus 4, we should get 8 records into our SQL Server. So now I'm just triggering this flow from here, and now it's been triggered, and it takes some time in order to reflect the changes to the SQL Server. And meantime, you can go to your flow portal and you can check that the flow ran successfully or not. So let's go here, send data to SQL Server, and it ran 17 seconds ago. And now let me just execute my SQL Server table again, and here we are. We already have 4 records, another 4 records has been added, so 4 plus 4 8, and we are getting exact same information over here, right? So this is how the another possibility for exporting the filter data to be stored as a SQL Server data. That is something which is now becoming easy and very effective manner. Now let's move towards the another 2 last use cases that sometimes we have a requirement, like some dashboards are preparing in such a manner that your end users are using. And let's say for an example, you have a customer relationship report created into Power BI, and let's say you have filtered a couple of records from here, and what you wanted to achieve here is like for your client, for your end user, you wanted to send the filter data directly into email. You don't want to send it as an attachment, but as a HTML table. So you can provide an option here, send an email. So what happening is from Power BI, you can easily send an email to your end user. So to achieve that, basically what would be the end outcome? First of all, let me show you. So you will be able to create this type of end outcome where you can send this type of beautiful HTML generated email with all the records, right? So for that as well, the magic is around the parsing the JSON and how you are parsing the data into Power Automate. So for that one, I created one more flow. So let me just edit this thing and let me show you this particular thing. So over here, I have created one more flow called create HTML table. And what this flow does is basically it is passing that context and generating the entire HTML string. And whoever most of the time Power BI users are doing this kind of activity for the first time. So I'm just explaining a couple of things here, like just open any online HTML editing site. So I'm just opening W3 Schools, and this is one table formatting which I love, and I'm just opening that over here. So now from here, what you need to do here is in your email body, simply you need to copy and paste everything. And this table is the section which is the repeating section, like every time TR is repeated. So basically you need to generate the string for that, And to generate that string, basically what I've done here is I created one variable, final HTML string, and inside that I'm just adding table section, and one header is added statically here because obviously header is not going to be changed. So I'm just passing first row as header, and then I'm just doing apply to each loop on the Power BI fields. So I wanted to pass these three fields. So I'm just passing that, and I'm appending that string to this variable. So basically another TR is generated, and that TR is appended to this particular table tag. So after this TR, how much, like the 100 TRs are there, those are appended over here. And after you do that, you basically simply need to close your table tag. So I'm appending one more string for the same variable with slash table, right? So this is how this table structure is generated in HTML. And after that, simply you need to click on send email, and basically in send email, you can provide the copy and paste for your entire structure. So let's say we have used this structure, just copy everything with the style and paste it to your body. And over here, just replace the table tag that we have created on the top and just pass it as a variable. So what happens is styles are as it is, only we need to pass our table, and that will generate that HTML table structure for you. So this is also something which is very easy and simple. By seeing at the first time it looks simple, but whoever the person are beginner, for them it is a bit difficult. For that, definitely just download this flow template from my GitHub repository. It is available over there, and just try it by your own. And now we can try it by pressing the button. But before that, let me cover one more scenario, and then we will test this particular use case. So for another use case is something like sometimes there is a requirement like I don't need as email content, but I need something like as a PDF. So end outcome is something like PDF should be attached like this. So how can we generate the PDF? So that is also connected to this HTML concept. So basically, first of all, you need to create the HTML file, and you need to convert your HTML into PDF. That is the basic concept. Now, how to achieve that with the flow? So let me quickly show you the steps. And this is the last use case for this session, and then we will go with the Q&A thing. So over here, you are able to see I created one more flow. Export data as PDF, and let me just edit here, and let's see what I've done here. And this is the flow which is created with the combination of the Excel one that we have created in the second use case and the HTML one. I combined those two concepts here in order to generate PDF. So what I've done, let's see. So first of all, I generated one initialize variable, and for this one, I just choose this particular styling, and I'm just copying this entire HTML and I just pasted it to my variable. So I pasted it, and I just removed the tags after this particular TR. So in table, we have one TR with headers, right? And after that, we will repeat the procedure for appending the string variable, right? Every TR is appended. And after that, basically we need to close our table tag, body tag, and HTML tag. So this is one more step that we need to do, right? Now our HTML is created. Now we need to store the HTML as a file. For that, just create one OneDrive action from here, your Power Automate. So I just created like create file, and in create file, basically I have this type of structure in PDF folder. Basically all the HTML and PDF will be stored. So what I passed here is PDF folder path and file name with the combination of GUID and UTC now. And after that, extension is .html, and we just pass the HTML string over here as a file content, and it is created that file. Now the magic start from here, like where there is one more action called convert file. So now whatever the file that we just created, we wanted to convert that HTML to PDF. For that, I just use convert file, and this is something which is in preview at this moment, and just need to pass the ID column from there. So ID of this created file we need to pass, and this is the target type. Not only PDF, you can convert into JPG and GLB as well. So at this moment it is I want to convert it to PDF, so I'm passing PDF. And after that it is something which is creating another new file using that particular HTML. So I'm just creating a file. That file should be created into PDF section, and file name should be the same as this HTML file name. So I'm just providing that file name, and file content is something like whatever the converted file is there, I'm getting file content from them. So file content and file name is something which I'm getting from the converted file. And as we are converted to PDF, so file name is also included in the extension PDF. Right, so this is something which will generate one PDF file into this location. And after that, let's say I want to send that as an email. So basically I just added one email action, and in advanced option, basically I just pass the exact same file name and file content over here, and that will send that as an end outcome. I know the flow is lengthy, but this is the concept that I wanted to present here. And by following the steps, definitely you will be able to create that. No such big deal over there. And now let me just taste both the things. I'm first clicking on this PDF one, and I'm clicking on now HTML one. And now let's see what outcome we are getting here, and how it will create these files over there. And I just received the notification that HTML is generated and PDF is also generated. So in PDF we are able to see 5 rows, and in HTML as well, in another email we are getting this table structure. And styling is also been applied. For this one we have taken this type of style, and for the another one we have taken this type of style, and it is exactly appearing as it is. And one more thing, like let's check the OneDrive location as well. So in PDF you can see a few seconds ago one HTML and one PDF are generated. And one more pro tip here, like let's say after your entire thing is done, and if you wanted to remove the HTML, you can simply delete that file as well from your data. Right, so that's it. So I covered all the scenarios for this particular Power Automate and Power BI integration. Obviously there are lots and lots more use cases as well. Let me talk couple of them. Like sometimes you have a requirement like from Power BI, let's say you wanted to implement some kind of approval mechanism, or you wanted to send some kind of adaptive card into your teams. Then also you can use this concept. And let's say for an example, there is a requirement that, you know, after on this button click, you wanted to store the data somewhere else apart from SQL or Excel. You have your any other, because Power Platform is supporting around 450 plus data connectors, so you can pass data any platform where you wish to have. And for this particular thing, one more important thing about the licensing. So basically whoever the user who is using this particular Power Automate inside the Power BI, basically they should have the active Power Automate license as well, depending upon the connector that you are using into your flow. So let's say if you are using SQL server as a connector, SQL server's connector, so basically you need to have the premium license as well for your connector in with the Power Automate. So that's all about this entire Power Automate thing. And I covered everything from start to end. And if I summarize, we started by adding the fresh flow, and then we just moved with we shared this flow with another user, and after that we just moved towards the export to Excel and sending data back to the SQL server, and at last we generated the HTML table and PDF. Right, and the main thing is that the filter context is passed from the Power BI to Power Automate, and this is really good. And if we talk about the limitation, let's talk about those things into 1 minute. So limitation is that at this moment when you are passing that context, only 1000 rows are supported. At this moment I don't find any workaround for that, but in future if I have found some workaround around that, definitely I will post some YouTube videos on top of that. Second thing is that all the flows that you are creating here are created into the default environment. So if you are looking something like you need to create the flow in into dedicated environment. At this moment, it is not supported. Let's see Microsoft roadmap for this thing. Like if we are able to create this particular flow into any other environment than the default environment. So this is one more thing. Third important concept over here, limitations, is something like for this particular Power Automate for any user, it's not called as a the limitation, but for every user who wanted to run this particular flow, you need to provide the license for that particular user as well. So that is one more important thing that I just wanted to mention here. So that's all about this Power Automate and Power BI integration piece. And before I leave, another one thing that most of the people are asking about this integration is like, does it support the schedule flow? So no, at this moment it is not supporting any schedule flow, because this is the another piece of area which most of the client are asking, that this filter data set should be sent automatically at specific time interval, like every day or every week. So this is something which is not supported at this moment. You can only create the instant flow when you wanted to use this Power BI to Power Automate context. So this all about this integration piece. I think I covered everything, and I think we are good to end, and we are on time, so we can go with the Q&A part. And thank you so much, everyone. And I recommend everyone, if you're looking for any short content on Power Platform, you can follow me on my Instagram account and Twitter account. And this is the URL where you can find my all social media handles. So that's it. So Sagar, I think we can go with the Q&A part. If any questions in the chat window, feel free to ask me, or anyone who wanted to ask me the
Yeah.
question themselves.
Yeah. Hi, Dhruvin. Yeah, I'll take with the questions.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. The first question is from Bipin actually. How
Mhm.
can we club this data in one card and post it on Teams?
Okay, so like for if you wanted to club this card, basically you need to use the concept of apply to each. So basically first gather all the content. So let me just quickly show you, like similar kind of HTML concept you need to use there, because adaptive card is something which is supporting the markdown language. So you need to generate some kind of table structure over there by using the concept of apply to each loop. So same way as we are doing in the HTML, first of all, club everything into one by initializing and appending concept, and then use that variable inside your posting message, and it will send that club card over there into the Microsoft Teams. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think Bipin, you got your answer. I think there is another question actually. Can we include Power Automate, which you called from Power BI, to Dataverse solution to enable better ALM process? From same people, same person, Bipin.
So look, honestly, I don't have more hands-on on ALM process, so no idea on that part. I need to check on that particular thing.
Okay. So let me see what is. Okay, there is another question from Bipin. What sort of Power BI and Power Automate license required to integrate Power BI with Power Automate?
So basically, you need the active Power Automate license for your account, and basically, it's something like if you wanted to allow multiple user to perform the action on that, definitely at that time you need to go with the user based licensing as well. So any Power Automate license for your organization you have purchased, it works with that. But obviously you need the active license. Without license, it is not supported, that thing. And specifically licensing is something like a very huge topic, and different type of licenses as well are a part of Power Automate thing. So yeah, but at least one active license we need. Hope I answer not in an effective manner, but I actually three types of licensing are there. It's something which is messed up at this moment in my mind, but definitely one active license you need. That's the thing.
Okay. Okay, there is a next question, same from Bipin. If we are using Dataverse as a data source in Power BI, how can we pass lookup field name and option set text value to Power Automate from Power BI?
So look, no matter which data source you are using, the only thing matter is that that Dataverse is something you have used inside your Power BI report anyhow. You have displayed those records over here, like if you have connected your Dataverse over here. So let's say whatever the field you are displaying here, basically you are passing that context to your Power Automate. So let's say whatever the field that you have dragged here, you simply need to pass those fields over here, and that is taking the context from the Power BI to Power Automate. So let's say if you have lookup or option set fields into Power BI desktop loaded by performing some ETL operation into desktop, like obviously you if you have comma separated, you need to basically in Power BI desktop when we have multiple choices value or something like that, basically you need to extract that field into your Power Query. And once we are getting that record, we are publishing that report to the service, and it is appearing as a single column over here. You need to pass that column, and that is how that context is passed to the Power Automate.
Okay. Okay, I think that's all from Bipin so far. Then actually there is next question is from Arsad. Is there any existing template for this? I think you uploaded anywhere
Yes.
in GitHub.
Yes, at this moment it is supporting very few templates. Only four templates are available at this moment, but gradually I think Microsoft will add. These are the four templates which are available at this moment: update an Excel table, Teams. Only four templates, and rest of the thing you need to do with your existing Power Automate knowledge.
Okay. So I think Arsad got his answer. Then Deepak has one question. Hello, Dhruvin. How about moving solution from dev to prod? Is it supported?
So look, at this moment over here for Power BI and Power Automate, you let's say this flow is created into your default environment and it is not added to your any of your solution. So for that, what I can say here is you simply need to export your flow from one environment. You simply need to use the basic process of exporting, and let's say basically when you are moving this Power BI report itself to the production workspace, at that time you need to pass the production app context to your Power Automate. So couple of fields you need to configure manually to provide that context by just adding those fields. But to give you that accurate answer, I did not try for moving that, but I believe you need to reconfigure a couple of fields into your flow manually after you import to another workspace, or let's say from a totally different tenant as well.
Okay. Okay, I think that's all the question side. So anyways, it's a really great session. Even I like also your sessions, your recordings and anything, whatever you posted in the YouTube. But anyways, thank you so much for joining everyone. We really appreciate your presence. We hope that you are taking away some powerful new learning from this session. Thanks Dhruvin for an amazing session on real life use case for Power Automate and Power BI and sharing your knowledge with us.